Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Real Estate It's That Simple on KHTS, 1220 AM and 98.1 FM, and on Facebook Live. Hi, everybody. I'm your friend in the real estate business, and you know what? Right next to me is hostess with the mostest, and the wind beneath my wings as he unplugs me. What are you trying to? Is this a critique on the show, Patrick? Already? You trying to unplug me?
Patrick, we just started.
Well, you know what? I got confused with the number on the mic. I thought you were on number 4. You were on number 2, and I'm like, oh nope, we're going back.
Yep, a lot of people have called me number 2.
Aww.
Okay. What?
Aww.
You're number 1 in the good way, not the way that.
Technically, Taylor's number 1 on this show
Taylor's
right now.
way number 1. In
I'll
fact,
take
talking
it.
about that,
Hi.
we need to actually have. It's got to be Phil Nordella and Taylor Williams show.
I know.
We've got to change that whole
I
thing.
know.
So if management can hear that, we've got something that we want to actually talk to you about because it definitely needs to be Phil Nordella and Taylor Williams-Moniz, right?
Very nice.
And now, who is Taylor Williams? Well, of course you know,
Who
and if you
is
don't
she?
know, then where the heck have you been? She's obviously a full partner of Donahoe, Young & Williams. She specializes in real estate law, business litigation, estate planning. She does it all, and she still is for another few minutes. She still is the president of the Santa Clarita Valley Bar Association.
Yep, 1 more month. And thank you for the intro.
Oh, you know
So
what?
nice.
Yeah, and so I can't wait. We've got to actually change some stuff around.
Okay.
And of course, we've got to introduce our
Adopted son,
adopted
who's
son
already-
Patrick, who thinks I'm number 4 when
I
I'm
was
number
about
2.
to say, what the heck's happening?
Yep.
And right when our intro music comes on, you and I realize we don't have headphones. We're like, Patty, can we have ears?
Can
This
we
show
have
is-
some ears?
We need help.
Turn into like Friends, Romans, Gladiators, lend me your
lend
ears.
me your ears. But no, really, we
Yep.
need ears.
Okay, Patrick, I've got to ask you a question.
Okay.
This is going to be kind of fun.
I'm scared.
No.
So am I.
Would you like to be this guy? Okay, just tell me. Would you like to be this guy?
Okay.
He's a guy in Michigan, right? He goes to a bar every night, and hangs out with his buddies,
Okay.
right?
Sounds
And they've
good.
got these lottery things that you can buy for $1 or whatever.
Yeah.
And what does he do? He wins $45,000
All right.
at the bar,
Yeah.
right? That's good. You'd like to be him, right?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, he tried to cash it in, but he couldn't, right?
Why?
For some reason, he didn't have the right ID. So he kept the ticket in his wallet, which is fine.
Okay.
But he decided, look, you know what? I got this 45 grand. I'm going to buy drinks for the bar, which is awesome.
Right.
And he does. And then the next morning, he washed up on shore from Lake Michigan with the ticket in his wallet.
Washed up on shore. I'm sorry, and I'm laughing, but my
What happened?
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
My microphone stand broke.
It's got a
and so
mind of its own.
I'm holding it because it won't.
Oh my.
You know what you should do? You should stand up and just hold it and then sing. Because, that's the way it should be done.
I think.
I'm sorry. This is hilarious.
Oh, he got it.
She went the wrong way and loosened it out of its socket.
Yeah, righty-tighty.
Lefty
That's
loosey.
what I did, but okay.
Well,
Anyway, continue about the man with
who
the
washed up on shore?
yes.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? It's
Yeah.
it's 12 minutes after 10, and we've already completely lost the show. But I like that. But I think the reason why
I'm
it
a little
wasn't working,
embarrassed.
the reason why it wasn't working is because I don't think this was in there.
Oh no, I think so. But normally I just very gently move it to the right, and then I can move it up and down, and then it goes back in its place. And the last 3 minutes, I'm like, it's not going back. Like this is awkward. So
This is the
thank
reason why you need to be put on Facebook Live because that was
Oh, you
adorable.
should
She was just
absolutely.
holding it, going, "This isn't working," which was pretty funny. So
sorry.
anyway, going back to our
Thank
story,
you.
you wanted to be the guy, but I'll tell you something. He bought drinks. He bought a lot of drinks. He bought probably too many drinks for the bar because he ended up
When
washing
you
up on
wash up
shore
shore, yeah.
the next morning.
That's not something you hear very frequently.
No, that's
Nor
a
would
bad
you want
thing.
to. Yeah.
No.
yeah. Okay.
So anyway, so he died.
Oh.
They're not. Well, that's what they mean by
Wow.
washing up on shore. I mean,
Okay.
it's not like he took a sponge bath or something, by the lake. He actually washed up on shore. That means he died.
Oh.
He drowned, and then the next morning he ended up washing up on shore. And they found his ticket in his wallet. He never got to cash it in. The poor guy. Anyway, I heard that on the news last night.
Poor Patty and I are looking at each other like, wow, this is
Wow.
taking a turn that we were
Not
just
expecting.
not aware of. Wow. Okay.
I like the fact that when
Okay.
I said you wash up on shore, you guys were going, oh, well, cool. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
What?
just didn't think it ended. Yeah,
I didn't
I
think
thought
he
like
dead.
he drank too much and fell in
did.
the water, and
Exactly
then
right.
somebody woke him up like, "Hey, dude, you're on shore."
Somebody woke him up. Somebody. God.
Oh.
God woke him up and said, hey, congratulations on the
By the
lottery
way,
ticket.
Wow.
I got
Okay.
good
Well,
news and
everyone
bad
out
news.
here, be careful with your lottery
Lottery
situations.
Especially if you're by a lake.
Yeah.
Now here's a situation. Let's say he charged like $4 or $5 grand in the bar, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm sure he didn't pay it, or maybe he did.
Probably not. But what
Probably
what
not.
are they
They're
going to
going,
do?
hey, you
Go
know what? You
after
got
his
45 grand.
Go after his estate, which I'm not a lottery attorney, but if it hasn't been claimed, I'm not sure I don't know how that works. So no.
Anyway, I thought that was,
I mean,
my
if
sense of
me-
humor is terrible, but I thought that was kind of funny. I mean, it's
We
awful
missed
for
the
him.
boat on that one.
Yeah. Aww.
Oh, look at you!
Took you.
Look at you! Took me a second.
Thank you. It's a good Friday here,
Yep.
people. Yeah.
Okay, guess what I did yesterday?
What did you do?
The guards at Lennar up there in 5 Points have actually dropped their razor wire and their German shepherds, and they actually let normal people go to check out the models.
I know.
And so I'm
So
going.
tell us everything.
I'm going to.
Well,
give you
remind everybody what happened initially, but you couldn't get in.
Okay, so first thing, let's tell everybody what 5 Points is. 5 Points is the 21,000 home development behind Magic Mountain.
Right.
Okay, and it has to start somewhere. So the very first phase, Lennar and KB have some houses that they're building. So here's my take. All right, might not be a great take for them, but this is probably one of the reasons why Lennar wouldn't come and be on our show prior
Okay.
to. Because
Okay.
we invited them many times,
We have.
and they never even called back. It was like, "Hey, would you like to talk about your new things going?" And they went, "Sorry, we don't even recognize you." It's like, okay, fine, thanks. So finally, they're letting us there. So you can go there, by the way, if you want to. Just go up Magic Mountain, just past Magic Mountain, which is kind of fun because you can see Magic
Yeah.
Mountain, and you can. I mean, it's really close.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. But then as soon as you go in, you pass by what looks to be about, oh God, I want to say 300 condos. And they're all in the framing stages, and it looks like, oh boy. Then you come to KB. KB has some what they call detached condos, which I'm not smart enough to know what the difference is. And if you're building something, why do you want to classify it as a detached condo instead of a single family home? I don't know that.
Yeah, we talked about this before the show, and I
Yeah.
don't have an answer for that. I
Yeah,
think
it's
that a
interesting.
single-family home, that sounds more attractive to me.
There's some tracts out here that are considered single family detached homes, but they're listed as condos.
Right.
And I'll tell you something, it takes you by surprise because if you don't know that, and the buyer actually gets the assessor's parcel and they realize that it's listed as a condo, they're almost offended.
Right.
They're like, wait a minute, I'm not buying a condo. I'm not paying this money for a condo.
Exactly.
And so
I want a house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you look at it and go, well, it is a house.
Kind of the same, right? But the way it's listed.
Exactly
yeah.
right. So that's interesting. So okay, so we go in Lennar. So there's only a couple things that KB has, and they're ugly. But I don't want to. I mean, they're ugly.
No, you already said it. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Patty's
cat's out of the
laughing.
bag.
They're ugly.
But it's okay because we're going to. So I would say ew. For the KB ones, that's my ew, right? But the 10 new home collections at Lennar, I would give them a yuck. I know that sounds terrible, but
mean,
I
here.
don't get it.
Here, I'm showing.
I don't get
I'm
it.
showing Patty because I can
So
see yours
yeah,
from
so
here.
they've got 10
Oh.
different new home
So
collections.
these are what they look like.
Some of the townhouses look kind of cool because they're a little different, okay? But then you get into some of the single-family detached, and I don't get it. They look like we both came up with the idea. They look like building blocks from your
Like what my
Totally
son,
does.
what my son
Yeah,
would play
yeah.
with, right?
So I don't get it.
Yeah.
Wisteria is awful. Now, and the other thing is, I don't think they have any space.
Well, that's what I was thinking. So if I want a house, I want a yard. And
Yep.
what you said is there are no yards.
And I think the whole idea behind, I don't know whether all of the collections are going to be this way, but I think the fact that what they're saying and they're selling, and this is a big thing now, they're selling, when you come to this area and you move here, you can do most everything either by walking or by bicycle.
Right.
And so they don't want, I don't know, whatever. But the prices aren't cheap, okay?
No,
so,
they are not.
So Rose Mist, approximately 2,800 square feet, that's what it starts at from the low 900,000s. Two bay garage, and
Right.
then they go straight up. They're like 3 stories.
Well, and one other thing that you mentioned was the lot lines.
Yes, exactly
Right?
right. The 0 lot lines, which is interesting. So if you have a patio, which is great, you walk out on your patio, and that patio side wall actually butts up to the next actual house.
So you'd want to make sure if you purchase one of these that you are in possession of all the facts regarding what the lot lines are. Because if you sell it or if
Exactly.
there's an issue as to that wall, who owns that wall, right? What's going on if there's a city
Yep.
violation, who has to pay for it? I mean, that's a big deal. I deal with that all the time. So
Got it. Okay, that's
something to
interesting.
think about.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you go onto your patio, the left wall will be just a little brick wall that's 5 feet, right? And the back wall will be 5 feet. But your other wall on your other side is the actual side of the house of,
Right.
of your next door neighbor.
Right.
So that's
So
kind of
if
interesting.
something's wrong there, who fixes it? And what if they don't fix it and it's causing damage? I mean,
So
ooh,
now,
the litigation is endless. I love it.
yeah. Oh, she's yep. So I'm hoping that with these prices, you know how when you go into a new track of homes and you see the models and then you realize no matter what, okay, I'm not going to get any of the things that's in here, and I have to actually upgrade. I've got
Oh,
to
you're
do.
right. The upgrades.
I've got to do the, do you want actual carpet or do you want the really thin carpet? Do you want
Right,
thicker
right.
padding? Do you want all of that stuff? And everything is anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000-$20,000 for upgrades.
For each upgrade, right?
For each upgrade.
Right.
So if you actually bought a model home and paid what they want to charge you for each upgrade, it'd be about $100,000. So
add
that's a
that,
lot.
all right, on top of the price, something to think
Exactly
about.
right.
Yeah.
But I think, in fact, the salesperson, who's a very nice guy, in fact, he was one that I trained a long time ago at Realty Executives when
Look
he
at
first got his
you.
license. And he actually recognized me with my mask on, which kind of cracked me up. It was kind of nice.
Well, you're very tall.
Oh, is that what it is?
You're easily recognized.
So anyway, nice guy. You should go see him. I don't think. I mean, I'd be curious to know what everybody's thoughts are. The insides are okay. They're fine, and I love seeing model homes.
Of course.
I do. There's
Yeah, of
just something
course.
about it. So
We'll
anyway,
have to see what happens.
that's my take.
Got it.
That's my take.
Well, we appreciate that.
Do we?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
How about you? You're kind of quiet over there. Do you appreciate it too?
I always appreciate your
Are you gonna buy one?
I don't have money.
He's like, Mom, Dad, my allowance
Oh,
isn't
God.
enough.
Never mind.
I know, right? Don't bring that up.
Yeah. Just go back to your bedroom.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, Dad.
Play Nintendo, right? Nintendo, is that still a thing?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch.
So are we? I don't think we're doing a number situation. Maybe news? Should we do some news?
Yes. Yes. In fact, we apologize.
And now, in the news.
We apologize. We actually advertised that Marla Ferris was going to be here talking to us
know.
about interest rates, but she is not feeling well.
Poor thing.
Yep.
Hopefully
It's
she
not
feels
COVID,
better.
so
No.
don't go that way.
Exactly.
She's not feeling good, but I'm sure she'll be better soon.
Definitely.
And we miss her, and she's got some interesting stuff to tell us because it's going to get volatile here.
Sounds like
And
it.
so, yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yep.
All right, so what you got? For the list of stuff you send me every week, I'm excited.
Don't you love the last minute stuff? I go, oh, by the
It's
way, before you get in your car,
so my
download
favorite.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So my favorite.
So Zillow wraps showing time deal as feds continue FTC investigation. Now, what the
Dun,
heck
dun,
does that mean?
dun.
Okay, Zillow, which I considered the evil empire, right?
Considered past tense or considered?
No, I still consider.
we go.
Yeah, absolutely. This $500 million deal was first announced in February and prompted a heated debate among ShowingTime users. Despite the deal closing, the FTC is reportedly still seeking information from the companies. That I've got to ask you about. But before we do a deeper dive into this, I got to make sure that everybody understands what the heck ShowingTime is and what Zillow is, right? Well, we know what Zillow is.
Well, I know, yeah, exactly. I know Zillow, but showing time.
But okay, so ShowingTime, when you put a listing into the MLS, there's an area in there where it just says click on ShowingTime, and you as an agent don't have to do anything when it sets anything up.
Right.
It actually gives you the opportunity to click and say, I want this day because it's available, and I want this time because it's available, and that's fine. I guess that's okay. I don't like to do it that way. I always want to have them call me first. I want to know who I'm dealing with, and then I will call the seller.
So question, just on the
Yes.
back end. So for me, someone that I get the Zillow's top 10 every day, and half of them I send to you.
Yes.
But I look at it and you click it and it says set up a showing. When
Yes.
do you want to come in? This day, next day, right? That's what you're talking about, right?
No.
So no. Okay.
So no, what that is you're on Zillow. So
Yeah.
because you're saying, okay, I would like to see it, you're not on ShowingTime. What you're on is, I want to see it, and guess what? Give me one of your agents to call me up, and I'll show it to you.
And harass me for
Exactly.
Got it. Until I
Okay.
go see the property.
So our
Okay.
ShowingTime is saying that I'm an agent, and I put it in the MLS, And
The
if I
other.
don't
Got
want to
it.
have anything to do with anybody seeing the property when it comes to me personally, I just can't be bothered. I'm just way too busy.
It's too busy.
Yes. Then I can actually just say, okay, do a showing time, and it'll click on there, and it'll send the agent or the seller an email saying, is this time okay? They say it's okay. Then it's just automated.
Okay, so
right?
it's on your end.
Exactly
Right.
right. Okay. Now
Got it.
here's the problem with it. The
Okay.
problem with it is it asks for a lot of information of who the buyer is, all of those things. So that locks that in. So showing time is sitting there with all this information of millions
Yep.
of buyers, right? And they know the sellers now because they've got that already. And showing and so Zillow goes, "Shit, guess what? Let's buy showing time." They put $500 million into it. Well, what happened was there was the FTC first began looking into the deal earlier this year, and in the time since, two Republican lawmakers have pushed the agency to investigate the acquisition because of the fact that Zillow now controls that information.
Right. It's trying to make everything on a level playing field in terms of who has what and then competition laws, right? That's what we've talked about many times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so a lot of agents have actually pushed back and said, hey, guess what? No, we don't want Zillow, who has lied to us for the last 20 years about saying, we're never going to do this, we're never going to do that, and then they do it. And they go, oh, sorry, we're never going to do this, and then they do it. Okay, so, I mean,
Right.
it's one of those things to where agents do not want them to have that information. Of
Right.
course, so what do? They say, we're going to keep them separate. We're not going to
Right,
have any.
which isn't going to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why the FTC was looking into it. But what's weird, and this is what I'm asking you, is how is it possible when they were actually still looking into it that they let it close? They were actually doing. They were doing their due diligence, saying, "Hey,
You don't have enough information.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
it's
I think that's it.
Yeah, they were saying, to some extent, the questions the FTC is exploring parallel those raised by real estate professionals in the wake of the announced deal between ShowingTime and Zillow. At the time, many agents expressed concern that the buying ShowingTime, which is widely used in the industry, Zillow would suddenly have access to private data.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Just to say, though, that this transaction closed while the FTC is looking into it doesn't mean that they can't seek further recourse, right? So.
Well, they did say here that if you're going to close this thing, do it at your own peril. Okay, which is interesting. Now, here's another thing that's come up, and I'm really hoping it happens. Okay, I'm really hoping.
Feels really excited.
Yeah. So as soon as this happened, there was about 4 different platforms that they were working on being like ShowingTime.
Right.
And a lot of agents actually said, guess what? I won't use ShowingTime. So I won't use them. There's a lot of agents that say, do not use ShowingTime. Call me directly.
Which we talked about,
which is a good
exactly.
thing. And I
Yep.
still do that today. But I'm hoping that some of these other platforms are going to take over, and ShowingTime will not be worth anything because you'll have a bunch of different actual options to go with.
Right.
Which are, because I mean, ShowingTime it makes it easier.
Right. But again,
Okay.
it's all about not having one company control everything and have access to all of the information, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
fair.
so, yeah. Anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting.
I know. So we'll see.
Uh-oh. We haven't even got to number 2 yet. And we have to sell some televisions.
I know we have to. I was going to say refrigerators, but it changes every week. But we have more good stuff.
Yes,
coming
we
up, so
do.
Just take a really quick break.
My goodness.
We'll be back.
Yep.
Thank you, oh please, I do what I want when I'm wanting to. My soul, so cynical.
If you're thinking of selling your home, have Phil Nordella come out and give you a free, no obligation property valuation. Just call 661-312-3561. It's that simple.
Donahoe, Young & Williams is your award-winning go-to law firm for all real estate matters, including the changing legal landscape due to COVID-19. In addition, Donahoe, Young & Williams can help you create an estate plan that accomplishes your wishes, protects you and your family, and avoids time-consuming and expensive California probate. If you've been financially devastated by the pandemic, Donahoe, Young & Williams can help with debt negotiation and, when needed, bankruptcy under Chapters 7, 11, and 13. Visit Taylor Williams at dywlaw.com.
My name is Frank. I'm the proud owner and operator of Braveheart Termite and Pest Control. I've been doing this for over 25 years. Call me for your termite needs and concerns. If you're in real estate and need a quality home inspection, call me today. You'll have those reports same day or within 24 hours. I will help you solve your issue with what needs to be done and nothing extra. Call me so you can have freedom from termites. 661-373-2617. That's 373-2617.
Marla Ferris at Augusta Financial is the consummate mortgage professional, committed to helping you turn your dream of homeownership into reality. With more than 22 years in the finance mortgage industry, Marla brings extensive experience and top knowledge to help make your loan experience hassle-free. Given her honesty, integrity, and attention to detail, she is the loan officer you can trust. Marla knows what it takes to get you the best loan, the best rate, and the best service in the industry. You'll find Marla Ferris at marlaferris.com.
Are you confused with all the craziness that's going on with the real estate market these days? Well, if you are, you're not alone. I'm Phil Nordella, and I have the knowledge and experience to help guide you through all the confusion. I'll answer your questions and help advise you so that you can accomplish your real estate goals. You can call me directly at 661-312-3561 or get online at philnordella.com. And don't forget, you can always listen to my radio show called Real Estate It's That Simple here on KHTS every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Phil Nordella, eXp Realty, it's that simple.
Your hometown station.
KHTS is the only station I listen to.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Hey, welcome back to the Taylor Williams-Moniz Show. This is where we learn all about how to work our microphones and how we can actually get our ears on. And it's
Never gonna live it down. Never gonna live it down. But no, that beautiful voice is actually our host, Mr. Phil Nordella, and we should talk about real estate, right? And what station are we on?
Okay, yes. Let's see. Let me just read it here. We're on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. Call now. Call. The operators are standing by. I'll collect.
I have to put you back on track so you don't talk about me and my microphone embarrassment anymore.
Okay, let's talk about 12 listing photo crimes agents should never commit.
I agree. This is good. This is good.
Paying attention to details will create a successful photo shoot, which will hopefully lead buyers to see what they want and make an offer.
And honestly,
quickly.
how important is this? I mean, when I look at properties, you pull it up, and you know the first couple of photos make me okay. I'm going to send it to Phil, or I'm not going to send it to Phil, right? So this is huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
especially in COVID land.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly, which is interesting because I've actually seen agents list $1 million homes with their cell phone. With no lighting, they just go in, click, 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 and I'm like, oh my God.
Why would you do that?
Well, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But this is actually geared around agents that should actually. This is the way they should actually make their photos look good.
Right. Make an effort.
Yeah,
that appeals to consumers.
If it does actually resonate with you, that means you might be a for sale by owner, and this is actually going to be okay with you also.
Okay.
Okay. Pictures worth 1,000 words in today's sometimes time-starved attention economy. The new listing has a few seconds.
So true.
To make a first impression on potential buyers and their agents. So we're just going to go over some of the things that you should probably do no matter what. Okay. Number one. They don't primp their interior. Mm-mm. This is something that I do, and it takes sometimes weeks before I can actually get a home.
And you've talked about this. Yep.
The one I just listed, I actually just put it in the MLS last Thursday. We had 8 offers. I negotiated up $50,000, and it was listed for $475,000, and we're in escrow right now for $525,000. It's the Bridgeport one.
See,
the 2
I
bedroom.
pay attention.
Good for you. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's scary that you can think of anything when it comes to having the baby.
Yeah.
And the crazy dog.
Except for working my microphone. But this is a big one, not primping the interior, right?
Okay.
So what you're saying, I think, and you've spoken on the show before, is people just have stuff everywhere. So you want to get rid of the stuff, right?
Yes,
so
you want to clean it up, and you want to get it to where
I look at it and I can picture myself there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll walk into a home, and the very first time I walk in, I go, "Oh God!" Like there's a lot. Some you go in, you go, "This works." I mean, they just live the way it is.
Yeah.
Others, they accumulate stuff. So there'll be 3 lazy boys in the living room.
Right.
Right. It's like
we don't need that.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I try to explain to them, and I say, and you have to do it very, very,
diplomatically.
Exactly. It's so important because. You want to tell them, look, you're just like everybody else. You're here for a long time. You accumulate things. Sometimes we don't get rid of them. We're going to talk about getting rid of them.
Right.
And we can either get rid of it completely because you got to move them anyway,
Mm-hmm.
or we can actually put it in storage because you're going to move it anyway.
Exactly.
So why don't we put it in
it's gotta
storage?
go.
Yeah, we'll put it in a little bin, right?
Yeah.
And so that's really important. But sometimes it takes literally a couple of months to actually get them. You go,
Depending on how much
they work on a little bit. You go back and you say,
you
okay, I
have.
like that. Now that I can see the floor, let's that type of thing. Let's clean that up.
Gosh. If my house ever gets that bad, you tell me. You hear
Are
me?
you kidding? I'm afraid of you. I'm not going to tell you that.
Oh, that's sad. Okay.
You're sick your dog on me.
No. Be nice to Miss Felix. But that's fair. So
Okay.
sometimes, but I think your point, you're going to move it anyway. That makes sense.
Exactly
But
right. Hey, it's going to go anyway. You might as well put it in storage right now, and then they'll take the pod and they'll move the pod with
Right.
the everything.
But me as a potential buyer looking at properties, that is something I think about, right? I see something that's cluttered. I'm like, ugh, that room looks small. It's not a small room, but there's so much stuff in
Yeah.
there that I can't visualize it. So
I
exactly.
tell you what, it's a 2,400 square foot home. Let's see if we can't make it look like it's 2,400 square feet, because right now it looks like it's 1,500.
Exactly. So
and they
that's
don't want to
huge.
invest in that. Okay, number 2,
Yep.
lack of exterior preparation. That's
Same
really
thing.
important too.
Mhm.
That shows deferred maintenance and things. And you want clean lines. You want the grass to be in. You get people, and you'll walk over and I'll see a big, huge 8 foot by 8 foot dead dirt spot, and all. Is there any way we can get some
What's
grass
that?
in here?
Right.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
Flowers. If you actually go out and you actually spend some money on some flats of flowers and put them in,
And they're not horribly expensive.
No, it's not.
Right, but if I'm going from renting to owning, I'm going to think, okay, what does the front look like? Oh, I have to take care of this. Oh, it looks icky. Right?
Yes,
I don't want
exactly
that.
right.
It's too much
I'm
work.
going to have to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not there. Number 3, displaying vehicles and garbage cans in your photos. I hate to say it.
This made me
Sometimes you
laugh.
get to the point where you got a professional photographer there, and you've told the people, look, these things have to be out of the driveway. It's easy to move garbage cans, right?
100%.
Because sometimes you'll do that and you go, oh my God, it's trash day. But
Who's getting up at
sometimes
6 a.m. to move the trash can? Yeah.
you don't have the ability to move the cars sometimes.
No.
So every so often, that's not a good thing. But that's
But
really
again, you
important.
want to picture, the buyer wants to picture his or herself in the property. And
Yep.
if your car is there, ick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden it's a stranger's house.
Right, right.
Okay. Number 4, pets. Pets. Well, you know what? You couldn't take a picture of your pet because even if you tried, because it's going so fast, it
Okay.
would just be a blur.
So anyone listening, just briefly, I have 2 dogs, Flynn and Felix, and Felix is the crazy one. And I sent Phil a picture of her having the zoomies the other day. Like, do you know what the zoomies are? When the dogs just run around like crazy.
Just
Oh yeah,
where
yeah,
you
yeah.
just sit and
My dog
watch.
does that.
And so I sent it to Phil. I'm like, good morning. And she's just racing around the apartment at like just insane speed. So you're right. We couldn't take a photo of her.
She just got her new supply of crack
Yeah,
that
she's-
morning, and she was just coming onto it.
She's special.
Okay, yep.
Anyway, but yes, I mean, you don't want to have well, you can elaborate, but photos of your pets and things like that.
But it's interesting because a lot of actual realtors take pictures with their pets. So, I mean, if you
Here,
think about it, what's
when
the
I
difference?
read this, I actually had a question for you because I'm thinking dogs or cats. Cats a lot of times urinate different places, and like the cat odor can be a whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
So like me looking at it, if I see a picture of a cat, I'm like, oh, I wonder if it smells like litter box. Like, have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, you
Is
go
that a
dark.
weird question?
You go dark with it. No, I get it. You know
Yeah.
what? I'll tell you something. It was funny because our house, we had cats, we had dogs, and for a while, they would pee on the carpet.
Exactly. That's
and
what I'm saying.
unfortunately, you can't get that. Sometimes it seeps through into the padding, and then it'll actually seep through to the concrete.
Yeah.
And
Subfloor
so,
concrete.
yep. So what we had to do when we actually got new carpet not too long ago, we actually had them seal the put a ceiling on the concrete.
Yeah, no, I've heard of this.
And
So that's
it's
what I'm
great.
saying. Like
Yeah.
maybe if you're
Oh, yeah.
taking a photo of a pet, like don't have it be a cat.
I have a very, I've got a really good sense of smell to where when I walk in, that's one of the first things I
Same.
start to think.
Same.
I go, okay, so what is this going to be a problem?
Yep.
Okay, number 5, showing off the clutter.
Oh gosh, we talked
Yeah,
about this.
A
Yep,
lot of
just-
clutter. Now it's interesting. I've got somebody that really wants to list with me, but they just don't know where they're going to go, and it's a museum, which is the weirdest thing. So I'm like, never have I had anything like this.
What do you mean? It's a
They've
museum?
collected. I mean, he's a
oh.
contractor, and he's built really interesting things in his house, which some of them work, some of them don't.
Okay.
Right?
They're very
and
specific.
They're
to
very
the current
specific.
owners.
Some of it looks like 17th century England, right?
Oh, okay.
And so it's like, okay, well that's a choice, right? But when you go through his house, like in his living room, he's got like 4 grandfather clocks.
Okay.
And he's got all these other things to where if you were driving somewhere back east, in a New England town, and you
Okay.
saw one of those little knick-knack shops, you'd walk in and you'd see all of these really
Stuff
cool things.
everywhere.
Well, that's what his house looks like. No,
Got
it
it.
looks perfect, right? But it's just packed.
Stuff.
But
Yeah.
I mean, these are type of things that they're not going to want to put in storage. They're going to want to move it, and it's going to go move from one place to the other. And so I'm
Oh,
dealing
I
with
see.
this. So when they
Okay.
figure out where they want to move, and they call me up and say it's ready to move, we're going to have to just do it with everything there,
Right.
exactly where it is. And it's going to be interesting open houses because there's so many little knickknacks. It's worth a lot of stuff. I don't know if I can keep an eye on everybody. So I have to actually put a sign outside saying open house. Wait out here until the other people are
Until
done.
somebody, yeah,
and
exactly.
I go with
so
them.
you can keep an eye.
Exactly.
Wow.
So yeah, the whole thing you've got to really think some of this stuff through. So
Yeah.
showing off the clutter,
So
yes,
that's not ideal.
right.
If you can get rid of the clutter.
And it's funny because I'll go through and I'll say, okay, see that, and they'll go, oh my god, that's got to go. Yep, it's got to go. See that? That's got to go. Yep. And it's almost like that got junk thing where it's like got
Oh,
junk
yeah.
and I point
And
to it and it disappears.
Bing!
It's like
Yeah.
one of the biggest things is I like to go to refrigerators and they've got all these magnets on it and all these pictures and everything. I go, everything's off.
Off.
Everything's off. Everything's off the
Yeah,
top. Everything's
take
off the sides.
Exactly.
It's got to
Just
go.
make it look clean.
Yep,
Yep.
exactly. All right, as we continue, close-ups. Take a picture that's too close up. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Over-processed photos. Okay, to where all of a sudden it doesn't even look like the
You're
house.
like, why does this have so many filters on it?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
makes
saw
no
one. I
sense.
was selling one in Canyon Country, and no, in Saugus, and I wanted to go out to it, but Saugus is notorious for having like these big, huge power lines go through.
Yeah.
And I looked at the picture, and the picture didn't have any power lines, and I got out there, and I went, and I looked up, and the power lines are right behind the house.
Like, don't edit.
They took
the
'em out.
Power lines, they're there.
It's like, how dare you?
Yep.
Yeah,
No.
so they fooled me. Okay, not enough photos. That makes sense because it's frustrating for people. You'll have a picture of the front, and a picture of the back, and a picture of the living room.
Yep.
And you're like, come on.
But what does it actually look like?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Too many photos. That
Same
makes
thing.
sense too.
Okay, 17 of the living room. Got it. What does the bathroom look like?
From different
Yep,
angles.
Yep.
Not labeling. A lot of times I don't label. It takes a lot of time, and it's like, who cares? You kind of have an idea. This is the living room.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's a really specific property, I
then
think.
I would do it.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep. Whirling ceiling fans.
What is-
Don't take a picture of that.
Okay.
Because it just comes out blurry. So they think
Oh,
it's
I
an
got
action
it.
shot.
Oh.
It's like taking a picture of Felix.
Okay. Understood. Got
Okay.
it.
Okay, this is something that's kind of touchy. Any and all signs of
Yes.
politics, taxidermy, risque artwork. I added religion in there because a lot of people, they're very religious and they've got crosses and this and that and everything. And, I try to get them. I say, look, I mean, this is awesome, but, let's not have that. If
Right.
you can.
You're trying to have the buyer look at it. I want
Exactly.
to move into here, and I do not want to think about my politics or the 7 deer heads.
Exactly.
Right,
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
Yeah. Just
So-
make it neutral.
so
Make it
those are-
neutral.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Sounds like you could sell some houses.
You know
man.
what? I have done that
You
before.
know what you're talking about.
I have.
Mhm.
Yes, that's right. 661-312-3561.
Amen.
Okay, next.
Yes.
Here's an interesting thing, and I know that you know the answers to this.
No, I
think.
don't.
Oh, you don't?
I
You didn't look?
I didn't click it because you told
okay.
me last
This is
night that you
awesome.
were going to ask me about
Okay,
it.
with wildfires on the rise, these 5
gosh.
states bear more risk than California. Okay, well, we know California's got a huge risk when it comes to wildfires. I mean,
Yes.
California is burning down, and it usually does a little bit every single year. It says a new report from CoreLogic finds the typical home in whoa. Oh, I didn't want to. You saw it. You saw the first one. Wyoming is nearly 3 times as likely to go up in flames as one in California.
Isn't that wild?
3 times.
And I mean,
This is why I think.
Not
I
what-
could be wrong.
that what I would have thought of. So.
I think Wyoming, it's a little bit more spread out to where you've got a house here and a lot of acreage
Land,
when it
yeah.
comes to trees and everything,
Mhm.
and something here, something here. And then all of a sudden something grabs a hold of it and it just actually goes across, but it's so huge that they can't protect the one home. So it takes the one home out.
Got it.
Here, because you've got track homes, rarely, because they actually make really concise, aggressive movements to protect the track homes. A lot of times they won't make it to the track homes.
Right.
But if they're one home in the middle of this big, huge forest,
Random.
guess what?
Yeah, good point.
It's going. And so that's the only thing that I
Yeah.
can think of. And you know what? As soon as you actually hear about homes being lost, you really know that they have no control over
Yeah.
that fire.
Yeah.
Because it's bad.
That's
We have
what's
fires
scary.
here a lot, and
Yep.
that's why I lost my fire insurance, which I got it back. Thanks to Jimmy Lewis over at Voy Insurance.
That's what you said.
661 2 minutes. No, I'm kidding. So California steals the headlines for wildfires, and for good reason. Nearly half of the homes at risk from extreme wildfire events are located in this state. But the typical home in Wyoming is nearly 3 times as likely to burn a risk higher level than that of any U.S. state. Okay, so I'm just going to actually go and say, what do you think the other states are?
Patty.
Patrick, what do you think?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to say Kansas.
Oh, wow, that was loud.
It was very loud, but it was wrong.
Okay, your turn.
See, I'm thinking like Oregon, Washington, but they get more rain than we do, so I don't know.
Wait a minute, you can't guess 2. I mean,
okay,
we're
Oregon.
just going one at a time. What, Oregon? Hang on a second.
Washington. See, you guys, I stink at
Minnesota.
No. Texas.
Minnesota.
My dad's from Minnesota. I just went with familiarity.
Texas. Oklahoma.
Come on, you're killing me here.
Oklahoma.
Maine.
No, Maine's by the water. And Maine's a tiny little state.
I know.
All right. Nope. Okay.
Ohio. Ohio.
It's a futile effort at this point. I'm done guessing. I'm horrible.
Georgia.
Okay, so you got to figure. I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Okay. They're mostly here in the West.
Well, that's what I get. Washington.
Texas. Oh no.
I said Texas.
Arizona.
No, Texas is not one of them.
Okay.
Arizona. Ding 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 ding
Yay!
ding 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 ding.
Yay!
Wait. Hang on a second. No, sorry.
After all that.
There's 4.
All right, what are they? We're not going to guess.
Idaho.
Okay.
Utah.
Okay.
Nevada.
Utah, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Utah and New Mexico.
Okay.
Which is weird because that kind of jumps Texas, right?
Right. But I got it. Okay. Well.
You guys failed miserably.
Well, I just don't hear about fires in those places that often, you know?
I think the whole idea behind this article was the fact that it surprised me that California wasn't like the number one burning down.
Exactly. As you turn on the news every morning and here's a fire here and a
Yeah.
fire there. And
Yep.
So
Okay, so do we want to do one more?
You tell me.
Okay, let's do one more real quick. California Regional MLS bakes in down payment resource tool, and this is important.
yes.
Hundreds of millions of dollars in down payment assistance is available nationwide, according to the CRMLS and DPR. The California Regional Multiple Listing Service has added a down payment tool in its platform to attempt to provide cash-strapped home buyers in one of the least affordable states in the country. Because that's what we are, one of the least affordable
Are
states.
we one of the least? I
yeah,
feel like
we
we're the
probably were.
least.
I thought
maybe
we
second
were
to
number
New York,
one.
maybe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's the only one.
Let's see, with information about programs that may, hang on a second.
Help them become homeowners.
Good for you. Thank you. I had to turn the page.
I got you.
So the MLS's, the California MLS has more than 110,000 subscribers.
That number seems so low to me.
It does.
Okay.
Which is interesting. But there are other MLSs.
Okay.
Okay,
fair.
so it's not just
Fair.
the California one, but there are other MLSs. But for 110,000, it's very low. Has integrated down payment resource, a web-based tool that offers information about local and state down payment assistance programs, grants, affordable first mortgages, and tax credits into its property listing data.
Which is great.
good.
So when you're
Yep.
looking for a house, it lets you know if there's an assistance program that applies to you, right?
Yep, and
Yeah.
this is what I was surprised at. According to the release, while hundreds of millions of dollars in down payment assistance is available nationwide, it's a challenge for agents and home buyers to know the programs exist because they don't,
Right.
and understand the requirements and benefits. DPR tracks funding status, eligibility rules, and benefits for more than 2,000 programs in 11 categories. That's a lot.
That's a lot. And they change all the time. The requirements change. So
Yep. And they've got to be fairly quick because, I mean,
Yep.
if you're looking for a down payment, so I think, in fact, this was something I was going to ask Marla about if she had made it, but she didn't. So anyway, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So
I think it's great if that can give you more information about what resources are available to you.
Yes.
That's great.
So if you happen to want any information, just call me. 661-312-3561.
Oh gosh. And with that, we should take a little break.
Yes. And what are we selling this time?
What would you like? Couches.
Couches.
I need a new couch. That's the first thing that came to mind.
Judy needs a new lazy boy.
There we go.
To add to the 3 that we have in our living room.
We'll be back.
Stay tuned.
I'm the bad guy.
Duh. If you're thinking of selling your home, have Phil Nordella come out and give you a free, no obligation property valuation. Just call 661-312-3561. It's that simple.
If you're looking for an SUV-based home design firm you can trust, look no further. Style My Space is a recognized leader in luxury vacant home staging and interior design projects for all of northern Los Angeles County since 2006. Their 5-star reputation for beautiful staging installations helps sellers realize up to 10% higher offers in as little as 1/3 the time as non-staged homes. Get an instant quote on our website at stylemyspace.com. That's stylemyspace.com.
Marla Ferris at Augusta Financial is the consummate mortgage professional, committed to helping you turn your dream of homeownership into reality. With more than 22 years in the finance mortgage industry, Marla brings extensive experience and top knowledge to help make your loan experience hassle-free. Given her honesty, integrity, and attention to detail, she is the loan officer you can trust. Marla knows what it takes to get you the best loan, the best rate, and the best service in the industry. You'll find Marla Ferris at marlaferris.com.
Donahoe Young and Williams is your award-winning go-to law firm for all real estate matters, including the changing legal landscape due to COVID-19. In addition, Donahoe Young and Williams can help you create an estate plan that accomplishes your wishes, protects you and your family, and avoids time-consuming and expensive California probate. If you've been financially devastated by the pandemic, Donahoe Young and Williams can help with debt negotiation and, when needed, bankruptcy under Chapters 7, 11, and 13. Visit Taylor Williams at dywlaw.com.
Are you confused with all the craziness that's going on with the real estate market these days? Well, if you are, you're not alone. I'm Phil Nordella, and I have the knowledge and experience to help guide you through all the confusion. I'll answer your questions and help advise you so that you can accomplish your real estate goals. You can call me directly at 661-312-3561 or get online at philnordella.com. And don't forget, you can always listen to my radio show called Real Estate It's That Simple here on KHTS every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Phil Nordella, eXp Realty, it's that simple.
I love it.
Right on!
Your hometown station.
Okay, welcome back to Real Estate It's That Simple on KHTS 1220 AM and 98.1 FM and on Facebook Live. I'm here, Taylor's here,
We're
Patrick's here. We're all here.
We
We're
have
here
no time.
for you.
So let's get to the
We have
news.
plenty of time. We're going to go long. Patrick's already said we can go
no.
long.
Oh,
This is
no.
awesome. Okay, coming soon. Are you crying?
I got something in my eye,
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
Mom and Dad are making me stay longer. I'm upset.
That's okay. You'll get a donut. Okay?
There we go. This is a story we've actually wanted to talk about.
Yes,
so
coming soon is a
tell
hot
us about
mess. What the heck does that mean?
Yep.
Here's why it needs to change. Okay, first thing, let me explain
What is
to you
coming soon?
what the heck is coming soon. Okay,
Yep.
so a while ago, years ago, we, as the company that I owned, okay, we were the largest company around, and so we decided what we would do is we would keep the listings out of the MLS for a week. And we had a little website that we could go to our agents and say, okay, you've got 7 days to actually show them yourself before we actually put it into the public.
Right.
Which made sense because we're allowed to do that, right? We're saying, hey, you want to work with me? Guess what? The best homes are sold before they even hit the MLS.
Right.
And they're like, oh, those are the ones we want, right? And so they say, okay, we'll work with you, and that's helped make us bigger.
Absolutely.
Then it got to the point where they were saying, that's not fair. And it really isn't fair because it's not fair to the other agents because they should have an opportunity to see those properties. And it's not fair to the seller. Because what you want to do is you want to make sure, no matter what, that the seller actually has the ability to get as many people to see the home.
Largest buying pool.
Yeah, because if you'd rather have it instead of 3 people, you want it shown to 30,000.
Exactly.
So that's important. So what they're saying is, how do they take care of it? And they did. They came up with a thing that says, look, it's simple. If you sign up somebody under a real estate contract, a listing agreement, you have within 24 hours to get it into the MLS.
Into the MLS, right.
Well, okay, but here's the problem. The problem is they may not be ready. I mean, I want to sign them up. I want to get them under contract so they can't go anywhere else.
But they have clutter.
But
and
they've got
have,
stuff that needs to happen.
All those recliners that we need to
exactly
get rid of.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, so they said, okay, that's fine. So what we'll do is we'll put in a coming soon. Okay, you can actually put it in coming soon as long as 21 days. So they're saying that gives the opportunity for the other agents to know that this is coming down the pipe and they can actually monitor it to see. And I'll get calls on my coming soon because I like to tease them under coming soon, whether they're ready or not. And the agents will call me up and they'll say, hey, when can I show it? And it's so funny because it'll be under coming soon. and it'll say, you can see it starting. It'll be on a Monday, and you can see it on Friday. And the agents will call and say, "Hi, I'd like to set up an appointment Tuesday." And I'm like, "You do see it's under coming soon, and you can't see it." No, they don't. So anyway,
but why is it a hot mess?
It's gotten to be a hot mess because of the fact that there's a lot of companies out there that are saying, we don't want to do that. We want to actually, like a Top Agent Network.
Yep.
Tan.
Yep.
We talked about them. They don't want to put them in the MLS at all. But when they do, they want to put them in when they want to put them in, but they'd rather keep them out if they can.
Right.
Because they've got a group of companies that they'd rather do. And that's not right? So they've been fighting with NAR and everything,
which we've
saying,
talked
look,
about.
Exactly right. And we want this to change. Well, the other thing about it is, the nice thing about coming soon is when you put it in under coming soon, it doesn't start your days on market. And days on market's really important because you don't want a stale listing.
Very
so
important.
If you list something and it's inactive, it automatically starts days on market. And if you're a buyer and it's been on the market for 2.5, 3 months, which is no time at all, used to be.
Right.
Now
but
it's
California,
ridiculously long,
you're
right?
thinking, okay, the price is too high.
What's the matter? Is it built on an ancient burial ground? What's going on? It hasn't sold for a month.
Yep.
And so then the offers are going to be less.
Right.
So when you put it in coming soon says it's not going to actually start days on market.
Doesn't calculate those days on market.
However, this is the problem. The problem is now Zillow has its own thing when it comes to it. And they've got their own coming soon with their own listings, right? That people have only listed with them.
Right.
And those don't populate to everybody else. And then there are other MLSs that the MLS will actually not auto-populate over to the other MLSs. And some of them, when you put it into certain MLSs, they start days on market. So
my brain
they're
hurts.
saying that's why why they're saying it's a hot mess.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
It's too much.
So what they're trying to do is they're trying to take care of it.
Okay.
And whether they'll be able to do it or not, I don't know. But we've got one more thing I want to talk about, even though we don't really have any time. Some guy, an agent, swept up in a hack, canned from brokerage for Holocaust views.
Oh, gosh.
This guy, Joshua Alayan, allegedly tried to register a slew of domains such as holocausttruth.com, theholocaustisfake.com, whitechristianrepublican.com, and whiteencyclopedia.com, which is interesting.
Oh,
basically what had happened was that this guy obviously is just a sick pup. And and so there's these Florida real estate agent broker Travers Moran Realty has fired a real estate agent. His name's Joshua after he was swept up in a hack that revealed alleged attempts to register domain names with these terrible names. So there's an actual you've heard of the Anonymous? Yeah. Anonymous is that group of their hacktivists, which they actually go after bad people, which is kind of cool. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what they did was they hacked this company. They leaked 180 gigabytes and found this realtor that's trying to do all these names. And anyway, long story short, the guy actually was fired. And so he turns around and says, when they call him up, he says, "I'm going to sue you guys. And oh, by the way, if you need to buy a home in Florida, I'd love to help you."
This is where, exactly.
So this guy's a little bit left of center. I mean, he's just not real smart.
Yeah. So, I mean, you want to make sure that you know who your agent broker is, right?
Yeah, the nice thing is the owner said, "Look, we fired him. In fact, I'm not even sure who he is. Obviously, they're distancing.
Yeah.
So he's been with us for 6 months. I think I met him once, and he's gone."
No, but that's what I'm segueing into, that people should hire you because you're great and you don't do any crazy stuff like this.
I don't do any.
You don't. So how do we find you?
Oh,
we
well,
hire you?
You can call me at 661. You don't have it memorized yet. 661-312-3561 or go to philnordella.com. And how about you?
661-259-9000 or dywlaw.com.
And if we wanted pictures of your crazy dog?
Stay tuned. Maybe I'll bring her in one time.
Everybody have a really, really, really nice weekend.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
be
you
safe.
for listening.